That's a problem. Now, look at this one, what are you going to do? What is the answer to that? Absolute value of negative
12,
10. But absolute value of negative 10 is what? 10. So your final answer is 10. Because this is cancelled. Negative 10 is out. Because my index is even, I put it inside the absolute value. So it's going to be what?
10.
10. What am I going to do with this? Do I need absolute value? No. Just cancel it
And 1.
and put it up. Do I need absolute value for this one? No, but I have to find the fifth root. What is the fifth root of? And it's negative. That's fine. If your root is, your index is odd, you can take this cube root of negative, fifth root of negative, seventh root of negative. The answer is negative, isn't it? What is the cube root of 32 is? 2, because 2 to power of 5 is going to give you. And what is the cube root of 243? 7? Am I right? It's 3.
I got negative 3.
Okay? Now, because you have one negative, that's going to be outside. So it's 2, this 5, this 5, this 5, and the index is cancelled out. So 2 over 3 is out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need absolute value because it's odd index. Now, this is the important part I'm going to talk about. I don't think this is going to be.
I wish it was. It's a lot easier to know what you're doing on Tuesday.
Take the place of graphing.
What was it Tuesday?
It's 14.5.
Thank you.
Rationalizing.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I'll convince over that.
All right, this is a good one, and I want you to pay attention. There is a relation. If they give you rational exponent is mean you have an exponent, but it's a fraction. Look at it. There is a relation between that and the radical. You can translate it from rational exponent to a radical. Look at it and see what they did, then I explain. See, this is the same as that. If you look at that fraction, has a numerator and denominator, right? The denominator is going to be your index. So this means what root you're taking, whatever is in denominator is telling you what root you're taking. The numerator is going to be the power. They didn't put it here, but this is mean power of 1. So you should be able to change from this to that, from that to this. Okay? Now, this is the same as above. That's the same thing. It's a fraction as exponent. But that fraction, m is not 1. M could be any number. Could be 2, could be 3, could be 4, whatever. If you have a number or a letter to power of a fraction, you can translate it as radical. How? The denominator is telling you what root you're taking, or index. You can write index too. Index. The numerator is going to tell you what power you're raising and what exponent you're raising a to. Okay? Look, they translate it as radical. The root is going to be your index, that's n. The power is going to be in the top of a. Sometimes they can write it like this. It's the same thing. See? Exponent could be around the whole thing, could be around just the piece inside the parentheses. I'm going to work on that. Okay? Look at this one. I want to translate rewrite without rational exponent and simplify if it's possible. Okay? So what I'm going to do, this is the exponent. The 5 is going to tell me what root you're taking. From what? From these pieces. Correct? So I'm going to have a big radical for that. Your base is a cubed, right? And b cubed, isn't it? Look at the exponent. What is in denominator? 5. So your index is 5. What is the exponent? I mean, what is the numerator? 1. So it means raise it to power of what? 1. But you don't have 1, it doesn't going to change. So this is going to be equal, actually, 5 here, A3, B. Look at that one. When it's come to number, it is very good. You can calculate it in your head. Can be translated as a radical? Sure, put a radical. Put your base 16 there. Look at the fraction. Denominator is telling you what root you're taking.
2.
What root you taking?
2.
2. 2 is mean square root, isn't it? So do I have to write it here? Do I have to write it? For
No,
2 you don't
'cause
write.
it's-
You know that, right?
Square is already.
Yes. You don't write it, but it's mean 2. Let me write it, but it's not usually you write. What is that 1 is telling you? Raise it to power of 1. So, I'm going to ask myself, what is square? You could do square root first, then raise it, or you can raise it, then take the square root. I'm going to ask myself, what is the square root of 16? 4. Raise it to power of 1.
4.
Still is 4. So if I see this fraction, in the top of the number, I'm going to look at it what is in denominator. Depend which one is easier for you. Because I know square root of 16 is 4, I'm going to say, what is the square root of 16? Because if this is going to go underneath of the radical, I'm going for square root is 4. Then raise it to power of 1. 4 to power of 1 is 4. Look at this. Without writing it as radical, can we do this? What is the denominator is telling you? What root you take? What is the numerator is telling you? What power you raising it to? Now, I'm comfortable with the root of 3 for 27. What is the cube root of 27? 3. And then you raise it to power of what? 4. So, what is 3 to power of 2? 4. 81. This means 3 times 3 times 3 times
3.
You could write it, so it could be like this. Cube root of 27 and raise everything to power of 4. Cube root of 27 is 3. And then raise it to power of 4 is 81. You practice on this. This is the way they are going to give you. I think you have one on the, yes, you have maybe E. You have problem like that. But it's a negative one. I'm sure you have to do the negative. All right. If I give you this, can you do this for me? Look, 64 to power of 2/3. What is the answer? What are you going to say? What is the cube root of 64? 4. What is it? 4. Raise it to power of 2.
16.
16. Done. Okay? You can write it. So you can write cube root of 64 and everything to power of 2. There is a tricky question on that. Is this. If I give you negative 64 to power of 2/3, is this the same as that one?
No.
What is to power of 2/3? Just 64, not negative. Look, if they wanted that negative, they put it in the parentheses. Correct? If they give you this, you work out 64, but the end add that negative. Because that negative is look like it is separated like this. Because it's just 64 to power of 2/3, not negative 64. Now, ask yourself, what is the cube root of 64? 3. I mean 4. 4. Raise it to power of 2.
16.
16. And you have a negative in the front, it's going to give you negative what?
16.
60. Be careful about that. So if they don't have parentheses around that negative, negative is separated. Now, they could give you this. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, what about this one? Negative 64 to power of 2/3.
Then that's going to be 16.
Now you're going to say, what is the cube root of negative 64? What is it?
4.
Not 4.
Negative 4.
Negative 4, correct? Because it's cube root. Negative times negative is. So it's negative what?
4.
4.
And
And
then
then raise it to power of 2. What is it?
16.
16.
Okay.
Watch for that. Okay. Now, we did this, we do the opposite. They are going to give you the radical, and what you're going to do, you're going to write it as exponential, right? How do you write this as exponent? 17 to power of what?
2.
What is root? What root? What is the index? 2, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be 1/2, isn't it? Because the denominator is the index, the numerator is whatever you raise it. You didn't raise it to anything,
yeah.
so it's 1.
Okay.
Okay, look at that one. That's that. Look at this one.
Which one?
This.
Can see it.
Anything is multiplied together, put it in the parentheses. Do you see exponent for all of them together? No. So it's mean what? 1, isn't it? Okay. Can you write this? What do you write? X, y squared,
Z.
and z to power of what?
1/5.
1/5.
That seems easier.
What about this one?
Now,
What is the root? What root you taking?
2.
2. So if I want to write it as exponential, 4, whatever is underneath, I put it like 3mn. And I need exponent as a fraction. What are you going to write?
1/3. 1/2.
This is raised to the 3, isn't it?
3 over 1.
3 over.
What is the square root?
3 over
is
2.
it the square root?
3 over 2.
3 over 2.
3 over 2.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, index is the numerator. The power or exponent for all of them together is the numerator. Okay. Can you do this without my help?
7xy.
7xy to power of what?
4/3.
4/3. Everybody's agree?